this movie makes me sad. Like, it doesn't even piss me off. It's just a movie that makes me sad. Because, like, a dark fantasy film by Disney, that sounds so damn cool on the surface. But what you get instead is something that focused on being dark rather than telling a good story. And unlike most movies nowadays, where it still has the revenue to make up for it for whatever stupid reason, now Disney suffered tremendously for this one. Because this movie was one of their first ever financial flops. This movie bombed when it came out. And to this day, it is still singled out as one of, if not Disney's first notable financial failure. I wish I could say that was unwarranted, but after watching it, I can't. I am a sucker for medieval fantasy as much as the next guy, but this is how you do that wrong. When you focus so much on it just being dark and twisted, and you forget to add the story to support that. When you go so far out of your way to make it dark, twisted, and downright terrifying, that you forget to write a good story around it. Yeah, I'm not gonna mince words. This movie is as big of a piece of shit as you've heard. And what I'm doing is pretty much just adding to the pile. And again, it sucks because just reading the premise alone, this had potential to be something really damn good. But instead it's just a movie that's depressing, slow, boring, tedious, and not until the final act does it actually become interesting. Now, look, I usually love when Disney, or any animated company for that matter, does super dark stuff like this. But I draw the line at it being at the detriment of the product itself. Like, if you are so intent on going full dark, but you don't have the story and the quality to support it, then that just makes you look like an edgy emo dumbass. Just saying, like that. This movie's so hard to talk about. It really is. It's so damn hard to talk about this movie. But I have to. It's my job. And all I can tell you now is that this movie's a flaming bag of dog shit. And again, it just makes me sad. So I'm going to make this review quick so I can try to not fall into the same crippling depression that apparently the people that worked on it did. So let's get this over with nice and quick. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your number sister for anything animation, including TV and movies. I am your host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to DisneyVember 2. Welcome to the absolute disaster of cataclysmic proportions that is the Black Cauldron. Here's my review. Sums up all my thoughts. I hope you still enjoy. Disney's first notable financial failure, and unfortunately it's not hard to see why. I usually love when Disney goes into dark territory, but if it's to the detriment of the overall product itself, then it becomes a huge problem. The story's flat, the characters are dull, and in the case of Gurgi, downright f***ing agitating. The pacing's way too slow, the plot is generic, the animation's mediocre, the tone is way too freaking depressing, and rewatchability is very low. But the voice acting is okay, the final act is phenomenal, the villain is vicious as hell, the Horned King is really damn cool, and the dark imagery, while a bit overwhelming, it's still cool to see out of Disney. And one of the best and most gruesome villain deaths in Disney's entire history does save it from being a lot worse. Like, the death of the Horned King in this movie is one of the most comprehensive, detailed, and brutal deaths of any villain in any animated movie. And usually, if it's able to have that kind of brutality and that cool dark imagery, I'm able to give it a pass. But the problem is, everything else surrounding it is a flaming bag of dog shit. So I can't. Overall, can't recommend this one. It's a film that didn't know what it wanted to be and was rushed out the door before it was ready, and Disney paid dearly for it, because this movie put them in a huge financial hole. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but this is in all seriousness and without any ifs, ands, or buts, a bad movie. It's a skip. You want a better animated medieval fantasy like this? Go watch the Ralph Bakshi version of Lord of the Rings. Yes, I'm not kidding you, that is better than this. So, what's my final verdict for this disappointing failure? Is it a 2? No. I don't think it's that bad. Is it a 1? Absolutely not. Have I seen worse movies out of this company? Yes, I have seen far worse crap from this company. But can I call it passable? Like a 4 or a 5? No. No, I cannot, because this is a bad movie. It may be entry-level bad, but it's still quite bad. And I don't know what Disney was thinking, honestly. I don't know what they were thinking. But what I'm thinking is that this movie is a 3 out of 10 at best. The little positives I pointed out, just don't save it. It's in all terms a bad movie, and it's just not worth watching. Watch the cool villain death on YouTube. Look up the dark imagery on Google. But don't buy the movie and don't watch it. Because it needs to disappear. The faster it disappears, the better. And for this to come from Disney, of all places, that's sad. That is sad. So, thankfully, though, they were able to dig themselves out of that hole pretty quick, because the next movie that they made was really damn good. We're going to talk about it next time with the Vincent Price show. I mean, Great Mouse Detective. Sorry. I confused the two so much.
Listen on to forget, so listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who